Hey, is this thing on? Because I know it's been a minute and your boy is back. I'm feeling good, so let's get into it. It's a lot that's been going on in my life per usual. Shout out to everybody that's checked on me and wanted to have some level of concern about what's going on in my life, because clearly I've been going through a lot. Let's start off right with my health. I got sick and I think it was COVID, but I'm not claiming that. Something was wrong though. I could taste my food. See, look, my coordination all off and everything. But my food was cool. I didn't have like real bad body aches. I just was hot in my sleep. And then my throat was tight. Which takes me to a point. Growing up, my mom would tell me and my brother stories so that we wouldn't do stuff. Like she used to say, if you would kiss on girls while they were sick, you would get strep throat. And I believe that to this day. It took me actually going to find out you can get strep throat from just by being by somebody that coughs. I'm still unpacking some of those things because my parents told me a lot of stuff that might not have been all the way true to keep me from doing things I shouldn't have been doing. And I'm too old for that. Whenever I'm going through something, I'm listening to music. Big Crit got a song called Highs and Lows. And during the hook, he say, life ain't nothing but an EQ of highs and lows. And that resonates with me. And there's a bunch of other songs that I love that I listen to when I'm in my feelings and I need to just like get all the emotional spectrum across. What I've learned to do when I'm having a rough day is avoid my triggers because I like to stress eat. So whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed, I try to make sure I'm not overindulging in sweets. So that's either chewing some bubble gum or having trail mix because it's going to help me chew and calm down. But every day you're going to have some good and some bad. And I put a post up on Instagram the other day where I had this prolific quote. And yeah, I said prolific. I had this quote where I talked about if you can appreciate the rough days or find something good to just really live for in those moments, and your future's gonna always be bright because you gonna look back on the past and be like, man, today is a good day. Even when it was a bad day. But for the most part, I don't think that every day is gonna be sunshine and rainbows because it's just not how things, like you not gonna appreciate a sunny day if you ain't had a couple rainy ones. And with the way this Houston weather been lately, it's ringing more true and true because it was hot last week, then cold the next. And I think that's why I got sick and I'm still holding on to that. But yeah, if you having a rough day, pray. And I'm saying that as a person that always try to fix my own problems, but sometimes you just gotta have faith. I was talking to my church brother about this earlier today, and sometimes when you try to fix all your problems, it's hard to trust that God go bless you with the solution that you need. Because it's like, God, why are you not fixing it right now? You can't put your problems in the microwave for 30 seconds and then it pop out hot like a batch of cookies or some other type of dessert. Sometimes you got to put that bad boy in the oven and let it slow cook so that you can get to where you need to be. And to be real, it's hard for me to wallow in some of my struggles because my parents had a hard life. I think about some of the stuff my mom been through and some of the stuff my dad has been through, and I didn't have to deal with that. So I'm grateful. Now, granted, I had some struggles growing up in my parents' house, but for the most part, I look at some of the things that didn't happen to me, and I'm grateful for that. And sometimes it's not healthy, quote unquote, to think, oh, somebody has worse than I do, so why am I like not feeling like my feelings aren't valid? And I think that's lazy because it's true. Jesus was perfect and he still had a hard life. So what make you think stuff not gonna be good? Like you think stuff gonna be sweet for you? It just ain't. I'll be the one to break the news to you. So hopefully that you can get the help you need. I'm gonna always push talking to a therapist. Get a therapist or have a friend group that you can lean and depend on, somebody to be there for you spiritually and emotionally and intellectually. Because it's hard to do this stuff by yourself. We are dynamic people and every day we are faced with something different. So for myself, I have a group of people that I lean on when things get hard. And I got my therapist. And when it's just me, I pray and just stand. Donnie McClurkin got a song called Stand. And sometimes when I just am at my wit's end, I listen to that, I cry, I get some sleep, and I wake up and I try again the next day. Because at the end of the day and in the beginning of the morning, you're going to have some type of struggle that you got to overcome. But don't let the day beat you. And if it beats you, try to win again tomorrow. When I get down, I lean on my 4 best friends. Like, God really be blessing me and they reach out to me. And yes, I said 4 best friends. And if you're one of my best friends, you know. And if you're not, this gonna hurt your feelings, because clearly you got to do some deductive reasoning to find out if you know before. But I'm not gonna spare any feelings. No particular order. You have Atia Menifee, you got Moses Gilbert, Patrick Hall, and Sherrod Lindsay. I said no particular order because I don't want no smoke. I love all of y'all the same. Y'all all gonna be in my wedding when God bless me with a wife, and we just gonna go from there. But my health was kicking my butt. Emotionally, I was out of whack. Spiritually, I was like, I was in the pits. I was borderline depressed. And throughout the whole time of me being sick, each one of my best friends just naturally reached out to me to check on me. And I was so grateful because everybody got a piece of what the struggle was in my life. And some of the takeaways from everybody's talks really just kind of brought me back to a good place. But the one I want to talk about was what me and my boy Pat talked about with me being an overthinker. Pat reached out and we talked about a lot of things in life that was bugging me, mainly quitting football. So my boy Pat is a phenomenal athlete. Dude is a coach, easily could have played professional, could still play professional ball right now. But he's a family man and his heart is aligned with coaching because he want to reach the youth. And I support him in every endeavor with that because my man is onto a great path. We chopped it up about the day I quit football and how that impacted the team. I quit football because I felt like I wasn't appreciated. I was putting all this work in and the coaches overlooked me or didn't value my skill set, and I just quit because I felt like I could have been doing more with my life. And it had a lot of residual effects. It affected my teammates. Some of my close friends were definitely affected by it. I even remember when Moses and them came to try to pick me up to go to practice, but I just told them, no, I'm done. And I didn't realize until Pat and I talked earlier last week how much that affected a lot of people that I care about. And it took me to the point of sometimes in life you have to make decisions for yourself. And even though you don't know how much it's going to hurt other people or put them at a disconnect, ultimately things will work themselves out for you and the people that are hurting right now. So if you're in a relationship with something that is not serving you and is draining you, making you depressed and miserable, crying, sometimes it's okay to walk away and you got to leave it to God, which led into like the reason why I was struggling with football, because I was good and I didn't see my worth because I was thinking too much about what I wanted to be to dominate. And that led into a part of the conversation where we talked about people such as myself who want to dominate, not just win. And that can hurt you. Sometimes it's okay to just win in life and be comfortable with winning, because you can look bad trying to dominate. Because I lacked some confidence about myself, I wanted to dominate to compensate for the insecurities that I had. Meaning, if I dominated in something, you couldn't tell me that I wasn't good enough. You couldn't tell me that I didn't have it down pat, because the reality was I wasn't sure. And he broke it down to me so smooth because he helped me realize that whenever I talk about things that didn't work out in my best interest, the first thing I bring up is what I thought, because I think too much about it. And sometimes you look better when you just win and you don't try to dominate. And it's okay. So I'm super grateful for that conversation. It definitely blessed me. He showed me baby Deuce. That always put a smile on my face because Deuce getting big. And Deuce is his son, by the way. And like catching up with my other best friends, like when I was chopping it up with Sherrod about just some of the experiences and stuff that's been going on in both of our lives. Sherrod has been my boy since I started college in Prairie View. We were roommates freshman year. We've been locked in ever since. But we were catching up on just some things with dating in my life and where things went wrong and how I can improve and be better because, man, Sherrod been there for me through my worst breakups. And I done cried on the couch with that man. And he done patted me on the back and told me it's going to be okay. And I believe him. That's my boy, man. And I appreciate him for that. And like talking to Moses when we were just catching up, because one thing about Moses, and you always need a friend like this, you need a friend that's going to give you the grace to come to terms with your problems and then express it. Because the reality is it's always good to have somebody that's not going to let you BS yourself. And I can always say, Moses, he don't let me BS myself. He gonna call me out and hold me accountable and push me to be better. And it's been like that since we was in high school because Moses is older than me. And dude he always gave me a big brother friendship angle from a peer, which is great because that taught me humility. Just because we're peers, that doesn't mean that I cannot be a listener and take direction and get that feedback. So I just appreciate him for being there for me as a friend and as a brother. And Atia and I, we just caught up and talked about some of the things that's going on in my life as far as my health and my goals. And a lot of times I get a little bit of grace with her because she is very intellectual. So she won't make me talk about my problems directly. She'll let me like work around them, but ultimately she go get to the point with me. And also with her wife too, Alacia, she kind of like a best friend too because she we clubs and she's super sweet and I love her so much because she's definitely been a blessing to Atia and myself. And we had some jokes that I won't talk about on the pod because I mean it's personal, but she's supposed to be doing something for me. We're gonna see how that go. But I'm so thankful for my best friends and I would say if you don't have people in your life like your village that can advocate for you and be there for you, stand there for you in a gap, definitely investigate your circle because I'd imagine you have some people in your life that you communicate with, but learn to be comfortable leaning on your community and evaluate your community. Because if the people in your life are not there to be there for you and advocate for you and care for you, then ultimately you're going to be pouring into people that only take from you, and that's going to be so draining. I don't have friends that are always taken from me. I do not cut for people that I can't lean on, and everybody in my circle that I consider a friend is someone that I can depend on. But for the most part, the people that are my friends are self-sufficient. They try to get it and fix it themselves, which is why the friendship worked, because I try to fix my problems by myself all the time. But when I get to my wit's end, I know I can lean on those 4 people to help me get myself together and vice versa. They don't never call me until it's the last minute. And for better or for worse, we just fix the problem. And I'm blessed and I'm so appreciative of them. I love all y'all. There's still no ranking for the best friends, but you know, just thank y'all. People ask me about self-love and I don't know what to tell y'all. Why? Because I don't know how to love myself. I don't think self-love is the phrase in which people should use when it comes to taking care of yourself. Because self-love always get brought up when people going through hard times in a relationship or they going through a breakup. They quick to throw out the self-love phrase. But the reality is, to me, you should be doing the stuff to take care of yourself 24/7, 365. For me, taking care of myself is just being patient with myself because I think too much about what I need to be doing when I'm not doing it. That is how I show self-love, by giving myself grace or being accepting of disappointments that are my fault or other people's fault. Because at the end of the day, if you don't love yourself, self-love is futile. And if you do love yourself, I don't think you really try to come up with a phrase to apply treating yourself. I don't think self-love is shopping. I don't think self-love is spending money on food or experiences or giving yourself a justification to do things that you want to do selfishly. I hope that helps, because that's all I got for you. One thing that I learned is that you shouldn't weaponize people's struggles or hardships to excuse your laziness. And that's something that I did in relationships, which was a negative thing. Meaning, if my partner communicated to me something that they wanted, I would find myself saying, why are you tripping about that? I'm not abusive like your ex was. I'm not cheating on you like your ex was. All I do is play the video game, or all I'm doing is liking photos on Instagram. It's not that big of a deal. Like, why you tripping? Or, nah, I don't want to go do something. I'm tired. I could be out there wilding in the streets and never coming around or making time for you or putting effort in. All that stuff is true, but it doesn't make it right. And I realized that that was a negative quality about myself, because I weaponized people's struggles to excuse my laziness, and it's not good. People in relationships or any other type of romantic interest, when you share yourself with a person emotionally, physically, or what have you, it takes being vulnerable, and it's a risk with that. You don't want to be the person to make someone feel guilty for taking that risk. I was listening to a Kevin Samuels clip that resurfaced where he was talking about how men shouldn't confide in their partner because women will listen, but those same expressions or sentiments to be used or held against you when you have a moment of weakness. I've been victim of that, to where I've expressed some of my struggles or some of my hardships to women that I've dated, and they use it against me to exploit or emotionally manipulate me. I don't agree with that, though. I believe that the person that's for me won't manipulate me based off of my vulnerabilities. And it's a struggle and a challenge to express myself, but I'm intentionally going to be bold in being emotionally available in the future in my dating. I don't want to let my past experiences hold me back in dating. And I would encourage you, if you're checking this out, to fully embrace the vulnerability of dating, because that is where you can authentically find out if a person is truly compatible with you. If you take off the facade or the cool perception that you try to present, to where that you're understanding or supportive or trying to tailor yourself to your partner's needs in the introductory phase, you're going to tire yourself out. And what I plan or want to do in my future dating experiences, not try to pretend or be someone that I'm not, whether that be my perceptions or what I expect, what triggers my insecurities or makes me jealous, or how I think or feel about things and what I want from my partner. Because at the end of the day, if I deprive myself of who I am organically, then I am going to give myself fatigue. I'm not in a space to be fatigued when it comes to dating. I am fully giving my dating life to God, meaning that I'm trusting and having faith that he will move things for me the way they need to be in dating. Whether that be me starting a relationship again with someone from my past because I've grown as a man and we might be compatible now, or that being someone new that I haven't met before. I am open to experiencing different things in this dating space with women, and I'm looking forward to it because, truth be told, I really love romance. I enjoy sharing moments with people and sharing myself intimately, not from a sexual space, but more from an emotional space and a mental space with a partner. I think that's, I don't think we were put on this earth not to have some form of bond with someone. And yeah, it's scary. It can make me a bit anxious, but I ain't got nothing to lose. I've tried it before and failed, and I'm gonna keep trying again and keep failing until something works. I'm not desperate by any means, or I'm just giving myself away. I'm more so removing the preemptive thought that I have to try to plan for romance. And I'm just letting it come to me naturally. That has definitely been affecting me. For one, every day I look forward to stunting on people that did me greasy or that counted me out. I don't know why I still hold on to that desire to get like revenge, but ultimately I know I gotta let it go at some point, but I just ain't ready to. It's still some people out there that have affected me personally that I gotta get over, and I'm praying on it, but I'm a human being with emotions. I'm not perfect, but chopping it up with my friends and just like even my therapist, and I realize I be holding on to grudges. I get jealous. I got a lot of stuff that I be harboring on to, trying to front like it's cool for the sake of my pride and ego. And at some point, I gotta let it go because it is burdensome. And if you holding on to some grudges and stuff, find a healthy release, because you go really make yourself sick holding on to all that negativity, excuse me. But yeah, it really baffled me. And I saw some things this past weekend and like since the last episode, and I just realized, man, I ain't over some stuff. I still want some revenge, and I gotta let that go. Eventually it'll work itself out. It ain't all the way there yet, but it's something that I realized about myself. Shout out to the community on Instagram for giving me these subjects and topics and point of view references to get into. One of the things that a lot of people asked me about was health and fitness. I be in the gym. I've been eating better, and I have been making a lot more healthier decisions. One of these days, I will do like a routine regiment, reel, whatever the case may be, just to highlight what my fitness journey is like. But thinking back in life, I knew I wanted to be swole when I saw the Lil Bow Wow music video where he had the tank top on, flipped inside with the 6-pack. And I was like, I gotta get a 6-pack because these girls in the video is rubbing on the 6-pack. That's how you get the girls. And I also didn't want to be skinny and getting picked on, so I had to put some weight on my body. Flash forward so many years later, and I'm still trying to get swole so that I could be at the basketball court with my shirt off so girls can want to rub a 6-pack. And I'm playing. That is not the goal with this health and fitness stuff. I like junk food a lot. And if I did not work out the way I was supposed to, I would be deathly out of shape. My face would be breaking out real bad. It would just be terrible. For myself, the way I set up my routine, I have meal preps. And by meal preps, that is a set lunch and dinner Monday through Friday. That is usually one set of protein. So it's either beef, chicken, or seafood, an assortment of vegetables. And for breakfast, because I'm usually on the go, I heat up like a frozen breakfast sandwich, which is like a Jimmy Dean or a chicken patty combo that they have at the you can get this stuff from Walmart for real cheap. Because at the core of it, your diet is a big proponent of how your fitness goals transpire. And I'm not on any major supplements. I do a mass gainer protein shake, which is just 16 ounces of water, 2 cups of fruit, and a half a scoop of this mass gainer powder. And that's just to help me recover so that I have energy. And I have that with my dinner. And for the most part, that's what my diet looks like during the week. And on the weekends, I might have a little bit of junk food ever so often if the cravings get real bad, but I don't go too crazy with it. The number one factor though, and I'm going to push this every day, you have to drink minimum a half a gallon of water, or at least half your weight in water every day, Monday through Sunday, because your body needs water. So drink that. That's a quote from the Read a Book song. If you don't know what that is, you should check out Read a Book. It's a funny song from when I was a little kid. But as far as my workout style go, Monday and Tuesday at my job, we have fitness classes, which is HIIT. So it's like a 30-minute, 9-station interval training with some medium weights, really light stuff, cardio. That's Monday and Tuesday. And then Wednesday, Thursday, I'm doing a push and pull. And Friday, I'm doing some form of push or pull just to like complement the workout. I do 2 cardio workouts throughout the workout week. I have 1 active recovery day where I am deliberately stretching or just pushing and pulling the muscles to keep the lactic acid off. And also, I put in 2 miles at least 4 times out the week during my workouts. And that's what keeps my heart rate going, my blood flowing, and helps my legs stay in shape. I'm not really working out with legs like that because I run on a treadmill 2 miles for the majority of the week. And then on the days when I'm not running the 2 miles, I'm walking. And by doing that, it helps my heart rate stay up. It helps my cardio stay stable, and it keeps me like balanced out as far as upper and lower body versus doing the traditional squat stuff and all that, just because I'm on my feet a lot throughout the week when I'm moving around and stuff. So I'm getting that workout in and moving the body muscle, my lower body muscles around. Also, one of the other things that really play a factor into it is the active recovery. With the intense workout regimen that I do consistently, I take sometimes a whole week off, sometimes 2 weeks off, just so that my body can get back to the point of handling that load of pressure that I'm finna put it under with the workout. And you kind of have to give grace. You gonna feel guilty about it for the most part, because essentially it's like, how can I get better in the gym by being away from the gym? But if you don't allow your body that time to rest and recover, you gonna hurt yourself and get an injury. And that's when your knees get all out of whack, your shoulders start hurting, a whole lot of nasty stuff. I also started getting massages monthly through like a local parlor so that I can make sure I'm stretching and moving the areas the way that they need to be moved. And you got to treat yourself sometimes. It's good for you. It feels good. It helps you sleep better. Speaking of sleep, you got to get your rest in. My sleep schedule was horrendous. And to fix that, I had to set some boundaries in the routine so that my body is getting the rest that it needs throughout the week. Because if you're not sleeping right, your body ain't gonna heal the way it needs to. It needs its rest. And I'll probably post some videos of the workouts that I do or some of the links to give y'all some like insider tips. But to be transparent, I want to avoid showing off my body on social media because I want to leave some mystery to my physique so that it can make me more desirable in person for dating. I feel like it's some value in keeping that stuff like concealed to an extent. I mean, I can't help it. Sometimes it's just gonna show. Like when I went to rodeo, I was feeling myself, obviously. But for the most part, I want to like maintain some level of ambiguity about myself. But I encourage everybody to invest in your health and fitness Figure out what you need to do to live your best, healthiest life, because you want to live a full life. At least I hope you would. And if you need some tips and tricks about like some of the workouts that I do, I'd be more than happy to share it with y'all, to give y'all some perspective. And I also got a bunch of buddies that are like really into fitness, like my boy Joe. And he ain't playing no games with that fitness stuff. And who else? But shout out to that Coach Joe. He does training in the Houston area. He is amazing with that fitness stuff. We were supposed to get in and do like a promo video, but I'm too out of shape now. So let me get myself back together, and I'm going to tap in with you so I can promote your business, because you ain't playing no games with that fitness, bro. Keep grinding. And yeah, health is wealth. Shout out to everybody that's trying to do something with their body and get it together, because the summer is around the corner, and I want to look good with my shirt off at the pool. I want to look good when I'm moving around in my outfits. I'll just say that. So that's the fit.